And then
what'd you order, Anthony?
A little this, a little that.
I'm never going to live.
What
this
did you
down.
order to eat, Anthony?
So wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 201 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Kenny, and Steven. Hello, Anthony.
Oh, you didn't even give me the courtesy of being part of the introduction. I see how it is.
I said hello to you first.
That's true. You know, we pull a lot of crap on each other. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, and I don't think people even understand how much crap we pull on each other until we're in person with other people who have never seen the crap that we pull on each other.
And then you laugh.
There you go, and then you laugh. So, Kenny, do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, God. What is that?
Scary eyes.
He's making
Yeah, we had a good time last weekend.
Yeah, Halloween is over, sir. Man.
Take my Anthony mask off.
You did. You took your Anthony mask off. So we had the privilege of going up to River Roots Barrel Company in Cleveland, Ohio. This was me, Kenny, Mr. Ryan Alves. Got to give him a shout out because he was a big part of that. Steven, Jordan. And then that was our Lexington crew that went. And then we were also joined by Cam from Drums and Drams, and also my cousin Joseph and my really good buddy Jeff Bolt. And so we had a time, gentlemen.
That was a lot of laughs.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And so when I started off by saying people don't know how we treat each other, I mean, my cousin knows me since we've known each other our whole lives, right? And my buddy Jeff and I have known each other since 2004 maybe.
He was funny, dude.
He was.
What a riot.
He was funny.
I was worried about you guys. I'm like, man, when he gets going, like the first 20 minutes that we were there, don't lie. I saw your faces. You were like, is this guy for real? You guys both thought, you're like,
Well, I thought he worked there. Because he had the same style shirt on everyone else did.
Right, exactly.
And it didn't dawn on me his name when I first introduced myself to him.
Dude. So he's always been like that. He's always a barrel of monkeys. But the funny thing is I think my cousin was shocked just from the get how we all treat each other.
Really?
Making fun of each other all the time and just kind of cut it up. I mean, people probably get that from the podcast.
Or they might think it's just for the podcast.
For the podcast.
No,
it's definitely not. It's not for the podcast. It's all the
This
time.
is real life.
It's real life. But man, that was such a great experience. And so we went up there hoping that we could find what might end up being the first mashup barrel pick. And what do you guys think? How do you think we did?
I think we did okay.
You do? Okay. All right. That's good. Steven thinks we did okay. Kenny, what do you think?
It was good. I think that the one that we picked, are we going to say what it is now? Or we're just going to wait. I guess we can say what it is, right?
Yeah, we can kind of say what it is.
Yeah, it was a really good rye. It's was it 12 years or 13 years old?
I think it was somewhere between there, between 12 and 13.
Yeah, almost 13 years.
Yeah.
Really good MGP rye. I thought it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It did stand out early on when we tasted it.
Right.
We all kind of looked at each other and were like,
it
this is
tastes
good.
to me like that one and the one that Alves took for Bourbon Outfitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, were the best two whiskeys that day.
Mm-hmm.
And we did try several, honestly, of the, let's say, older aged Lawrenceburg, Frankfurt, we'll just say juice distillate,
Yeah.
We'll just say that. And I honestly thought that the two we picked ended up being the best that day for sure. So I was happy with it, very pleased.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys will have to keep it on a lookout when we actually get that. When that comes to fruition, when it's ready to go, we're going to be really excited to tell you about it and have you have the opportunity to purchase it. But I'm just going to own this. But I'm from Northeast Ohio, right? And the emotion of going home.
You were in your feels, bro.
I was in my feels. I was 1,000% my feels, but River Roots is such a great place, and they didn't have what do you think? How many barrels they had there?
Still good. It was
probably
not good at numbers.
30,
50,
40, maybe
40,
50, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
It's not a big outfit, but once we were there and we were chatting and just having a good time and tasting whiskey, for me personally, it kind of got a little bit out of control pretty quickly, but it was just a lot of fun. And then the dinner afterwards and everything.
I'm just glad that we got you out of that massage parlor just in time, bro. You could have wound up on the news that night.
Oh, my God. Dude, No, we didn't go to any massage parlors. I'm trying to think. We went down there, around 4:30?
That was a great time.
It was like 4:30. We got down there. We tasted for a couple hours, and then we went over to a spot downtown called Cordelia and had a amazing dinner. And then
what'd you order, Anthony?
A little this, a little that.
I'm never going to live.
What
this
did you
down
order to eat,
for
Anthony?
So wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I'm not the only one here, Steven. I mean, you probably don't even remember what you were thinking at dinner. You remember? Okay,
I remember.
Right.
This is really good food.
This is really good food. So it was excellent food. But here's the thing. So we were sitting there. When we got there, we got pours, and I did not need another pour. And I'm looking at this menu, and I kind of internalized that I was going to get a burger, right? That's kind of just what I internalized. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting there, we're talking, everything else. People are making fun of each other. We're having fun. And I look over, and the waitress comes over and takes our menus. And I look around, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I didn't order any food. I was like, I didn't order any food. Like, why are you taking my menu? And it turns out that Alves ordered food for everybody.
He's a smart man.
He's a smart man, exactly right. And so all this food starts coming, and I was like, what is going on?
I was elated.
So you were happy.
I was happy.
Steven was happy.
I got lots of different foods to eat.
Right.
And it just showed up.
There you go. It was like sausage and peppers. There was all this stuff.
Little hamburger.
Yeah, I ate.
Dips.
Okay, so I ate everything. And then...
Yeah, you had a big old side of butt hurt there, too.
So wait a minute. When we get back to the house, okay, we get back to the Airbnb we're staying at, and I didn't really say much. I don't think, did I say anything? We were actually down there.
Not a lot, I guess. I don't know.
I was kind of silent.
We're at a different table.
We were at a different table.
We were at the kids' table.
We were at the kids' table, right? So I'm sitting there, and all I remember is sitting there talking to Alves, and he was like, hey, he said something like a very calm voice. He was like, were you mad at me or something? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, what? He's like, what are you mad about, bro? And I'm like, sorry. I'm like, the reason I gave you that face at dinner, I was like, because I wanted to order my own food. And he looked at me like almost incredulous. He's sitting on the couch. I'm sitting in a chair across the room, and he goes, you're mad that I ordered you food?
He should have backhanded you right then and there.
I will 100% order
God.
Anthony's food every time until eternity.
Dude.
It'll never be let
It's
down.
never going to be.
Never.
When I'm at your house, Kenny, if there's food upstairs, people are like, let me get your plate for you.
I'm going to fix your plate.
You're going to fix that plate.
Just hand you a plate to eat.
Oh, my God. So I'm never going to live that down. I don't know why, out of all the great experiences that we had, and I got to thank Tom Gray and Ryan Lentz, I mean, they really took care of us up there.
Really great hosts.
Great hosts. We had such a fantastic time.
Now, one thing I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Because I guess number of barrels, I'm bad at numbers, but was it 30 to 40?
Yeah.
Maybe 40?
In that range.
Somewhere there.
About three stacks high.
How many different profiles, different tastes, different flavors did we try?
Well, should we
So
talk
they don't have like 20 of one style whiskey and 20 of another. We tasted 8 to 10 minimum.
Yeah.
Totally different, unique profiles, even though they had only 30 to 40 barrels.
Right.
And that's something that Ron even talked about when he was on the pod that I didn't really pay attention to as much.
Me either.
That he talked about. He's like, hey, we don't want to order, we don't want to have like 20 of the same barrel. We want to have a bunch of different things. You come in, make some taste. We'll sell through that, bring more stuff in, but they try to keep a good mix of stuff. And that was really cool.
Since Kenny kind of led into it, we'll just say that, when we got there, they had everything laid out, tasting boards, glasses, everything like that. But the cool
Those
thing,
boards were really awesome.
Those boards are awesome. They have them on their website for sale. I'm gonna buy one
they
of
had
those.
the different classifications of notes,
Yeah.
and underneath the main classifications, they had specific caramel or vanilla, or whatever. But they must have had 50 different nosing profiles out there.
Yeah,
now.
Woodford Jr.
What's that?
Woodford Jr.
Woodford Jr.
There we go.
But what I will say is I've never seen a tasting board look like that, and it was very nice. It just looked great, so I'm probably going to buy one of those. But past that, I feel there was a very deliberate way they went about introducing us to the barrels, which was very nice. Like, hey, we only have 2 of these left. Taste it, see what you think. We only have 1 of these left. We only have 3 of these. We have these we just got in. We got these from this place.
Yeah, so
it was just awesome.
Put some order to the chaos.
And so it's like, all right, let's try a 95.5 raw. Let's try this Heaven Hill. It's been rebarreled. let's try this and try that. And once you found something that you kind of liked, then okay, you like this particular, say, Heaven Hill twice barreled. So now let's try the 5 of those we have left to see. You know, so it's kind of like, don't just throw all out there. They throw like one of each thing out there, see what you liked, and then you go down that rabbit hole picking from those exact barrels.
Yeah.
I do have to say too, total brain fart, our boy Justin Morrell joined us too.
Oh yeah,
He got off work, showed up late, but he went to dinner with us too. It was awesome.
Had a great time.
Totally forgot about Justin.
And Justin, our listening audience wouldn't know this, but the cool part about this is Justin is a Kentucky guy and very, great guy on the bourbon scene here in Lexington. And then he just recently moved to Cleveland
took
for
a job with Beam.
Yeah, for
and
Beam.
He has moved to Cleveland.
Yeah, and so it was like, hey, you just call up your buddy that you know and comes in and joins and has a great time. So it was just such a fun time. A lot of good feels, community. For me, felt like going home, and for you guys, I'm sure. Kenny never having been to Cleveland and Steven only visiting for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame once.
Well, I said I've never been to Cleveland.
Oh, but you had.
My wife got home today from a weekend trip.
Okay.
And she said that I was a liar.
Oh.
Because she was getting caught up on the episodes.
Okay.
And we went to Cleveland and I bought a car a long time ago.
Okay.
I used to like drag race Sentras.
Oh, really?
So I went and bought a Sentra from up there, supposedly. I don't remember that, but she said we did, so I have to believe her. So I guess I have been to Cleveland once, I just did not remember it.
Just to buy a car, though. You could have been in any part of Cleveland to buy a car.
That's right. I have no idea. I don't remember it all.
You probably didn't, when you're buying a car, you probably didn't go downtown Cleveland and hang out.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so one thing, you got to look out for our barrel pick. We'll give you more details as we get them, but also, we've spoken the praises of River Roots since we had them on the podcast and learned a little bit about what they're doing. But that continues to be the case that you should definitely check out their products, give them a visit, because they're just they're 1,000% salted earth guys. That we had a great time up there.
It was a really, really fun time.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we have another great review this week.
Oh, yes, we definitely have a great review. So the title of this review was Love the Podcast and the Camaraderie. This was a 5-star review left for us by L. Bartez on 9/28/24. We're still catching up. And this listener said, I started listening to the mashup a couple of years ago when we were driving from Northern Virginia up to Cleveland, Ohio to visit my in-laws. Oh, so they were going to Cleveland. How about that? I downloaded a couple of episodes to listen to in the car and then went down the rabbit hole after loving the format and hearing the friendship and ball busting coming through. It reminded me of how me and my buddies are when we get together to drink whiskey. The addition of Kenny took it to another level, and I love how he incorporated the blinds. Anyways, keep up the great work, and I'll be making it a point to try some River Roots next time we are up that way based on a recent interview with these guys. That was by El Bartez on 9/28/24, and we did not plan this.
What a timely review.
I know exactly. I'm going right in order of the way the reviews were left, and that's the way we do it. And so the fact that was left in the time we're talking about River Roots was 100% coincidence, but man, we thank you for that review.
And if you'd like a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or mail it to Anthony. And next time we record, we'll give you a shout out.
I'd love receiving snail mail. It's my favorite thing. I go out and check the box every day. Come on, don't disappoint me.
For this week, gentlemen, we have a bottle of Jack Daniel's Coy Hill.
Oh, yeah. Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. This is the 2024 release, which we wouldn't have had if it weren't for Kenny. The distillery is Jack Daniel's Distillery, the bottle date 2024. The ABV is, what is the ABV on it, Steven? Is that 120 something?
125.1.
That's the proof. I was just messing with you. So it's 125.1, and I can't do the math. What's the ABV?
250 proof bourbon.
$1.
$1. Tell us real quick.
62.55.
62.55. Okay. I love it. The mash bill is 80% corn, 8% rye, and 12% malted barley. The age is 10 year, 11 months. And the MSRP on this, which I could not believe, was $79.99 at the distillery. But none of us can get to the distillery to get this. So, Kenny, dare I ask what you paid for this?
Yeah, these have been $400 to $450 on secondary.
Ooh, my.
A local guy here, Morrow, You know Morrow. We talked about Morrow before.
Oh yeah.
Morrow got a in with somebody. We got this just under secondary. It was still expensive.
Okay.
It might have been $350-ish, $375. I don't know. Maybe like $350, but they've been $450. So Morrow and I are actually splitting this bottle. So he's taking half. I'm taking half. But he was gracious enough just to leave the whole bottle for us.
That's very nice.
We're going to do the episode on it. I'm going to pour my half out. I've given him his half. But that's how we acquired this bottle.
That's awesome.
And I am just so curious about this because in 2021.
Yes, please give us that history.
Yeah, 2021.
That was the first year, right?
Yeah. That was when Coy Hill dropped, like true Coy Hill. Coy Hill there's a couple 138, 139 proofs, but most of the Coy Hills were hazmat, were 140 to 145 proof. They're about 10 years old, I believe, then. And it's the first or higher proof, higher age stuff they put out.
Yeah.
And it actually won our whiskey of the year that year in blinds.
Wow.
Jack Daniel's, it's Brown-Forman, Woodford, Old Forester. A lot of their product has that traditional banana-y note, right? So we talked about this previously on the pod, but with the Coy Hill, they replaced that banana with like cherry and cinnamon.
Yep.
And the Coy Hill was just off the charts stupid. And those, now they are $700 to $800. Back then, for a couple of years, you could still grab those for $400 to $450.
Okay.
And they were hazmat, 10-year-old, all that stuff. So that was 2021. 2022, they came out with the
Ultra Hazmat.
Well,
wasn't there 150?
And actually, back up. They were 750 milliliters,
right,
and single barrels,
right.
So single barrel, 750 milliliters.
Yep.
Then in 2022, they had the Coy Hill small batches, not single barrels,
right,
and they were only in 375s, and they were gift shop only.
Okay.
When those came out, there's the 155 proof, 153 proof, 51 proof, 149 proof. Now, when those came out, they were going for $700 to $800 on secondary
for a 375.
For a 375.
Whoa, $1,600 bottle, man.
So a lot of us kind of like passed on that.
Right.
Alves ended up getting the 155.1 proof for our blondes.
I remember that.
And I think it finished as second place to Michter's 20 that year.
I think so.
I ended up buying one of those for like $1,300.
Okay.
Which is like $2,600 if you look at a 750.
Right.
They're now going for $2,000, $2,100, $2,200 for a 375.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's massively well.
So these here though, so I've seen the Coy Hills here at 123 proof to 125, 126 proof.
Right.
Man, I am curious on this. And the only reason I bought I only bought half. I split it.
Yeah.
The reason I did not buy
another 375.
But the only reason I did not buy a whole one or buy 2 or 3 or 4 of them is, is this going to be like a traditional Jack Daniel's pick?
Right.
Or is this going to be more like the 2021, 2022 Coy Hills? Is this price just riding on the coattails of the real expensive original Coy Hills? And so that's what we're here to find out tonight.
That makes sense. And I will just say that this most current batch, the proof range is 122 to 137.
Okay. I have not seen anything higher than that 125 to 130.
That's what it says in the press release, but I don't know if that's the case.
I've seen 130.
Okay.
Guff was over there the other night. I think Guff brought 130 proof one.
130. So if there's one that's up that high, but still, that's still lower than what it's been the last 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting, Kenny. You brought up that point about whether or not this is the same caliber as the stuff that we've had in the past. So I'm kind of anxious to find out myself.
And I'm very anxious. Part of the reason, too, and I wish I had a sample here, when we went and did our Jack Daniel's pick with Liquor Box in Georgetown.
Right.
We had 3 samples. 2 were traditional banana.
Yep.
1 was cherry cinnamon, Coy Hill like. So
yes.
Our pick coming out, I don't know when it's going to drop, but I'm telling you, just off of memory, it is phenomenal, amazing. And so I want to see how it compares potentially to what this is.
Absolutely. So, Steven, Bluegrass Liquor Box up in Georgetown, we picked a bourbon and rye for them, and I think the delivery date was supposed to be around holidays. So maybe December or January. Hopefully it comes in by then. But that would be really good to blind you with that. We should do an episode where we mix it up and see what you think of it. Because, Kenny and I, And a couple other people, too, thought that it did have more of that Coy Hill type flavor to it. But, yeah, there's another story I'm going to share later in the episode about Coy Hill and how it brought myself and this fellow over here, Kenny, together. So, yeah.
Do we know why it's called Coy Hill?
Yes.
That's where the rick house sits.
Yeah, so there's, I think Jack Daniels has like 92 rick houses. And Coy Hill, the unique thing about Coy Hill is it's the highest elevation. So it has the most extreme temperature swings. And it apparently, you know, obviously temperature means a lot too, the way that whiskey ages. So that's why it's got the reputation that it has. Yeah.
So all their hills are named?
They might be. I mean, gosh, it was funny. We were looking at that map they have. They have a map of like each building and its name and stuff like that on the property, and it's just amazing how many rick houses they have. But it's not like you know how Kentucky, some of the rick houses are very, very old. I think these are all. The Coy Hill was, I think, constructed in the '60s, maybe. So we're not talking
they're pretty
about
ugly then, right?
Yeah,
The 60s construction.
They're like, yes, yeah, the '60s construction with the mold growing all over it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, yeah.
Enough of this talk. Let's sniff.
All right, nosy.
Right off the bat, chocolate cherry.
Chocolate cherry for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to disagree. There's a fair amount of ethanol.
Yeah.
I do get still a very, very faint banana note. Faint. Yeah,
It's
very
there.
faint. It's like it's just kind of there, but it's not overpowering. It's definitely not. Yeah, chocolate cherry is a good one though. I like the chocolate cherry note.
Cherry, a little bit of, I don't know if I get chocolate, but your all's knows better than mine. But
Steven tends to
definitely
pick
get a little
up the
cherry, a little bit of
chocolate
cinnamon.
notes.
A little cherry, a little bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, so the nose kind of leads on that this is actually going to be more like the profile that you said, Kenny. The other profile, the one that's more typical of stuff that's different than what we expect from Jack Daniels. And so for the listening audience, the Coy Hill bottle looks very similar to the other single barrel products they put out at Cast Strength. The only difference is it has a orange and is that orange and blue accented label that looks different. I'm colorblind, so I should probably
No, it's the same. It's just like
no
other
blue-
Coy
there's no-
Hills. It's red. Yeah,
It's
it's
red.
traditional red.
Okay, I thought it was orange. So it's a red and
Yeah.
blue. Don't ask me about colors, but if you saw in the
No,
store,
dog, this is
Orange and red.
all right, all right, sorry,
Take 3.
orange and red. There's no blue on there.
No,
Yeah, there you go. This is how I
it's
struggle.
all good.
But if you see the regular single barrel strength in the store, it's got a gold label on it just to differentiate it, just in case people haven't seen it. But it looks to be in the same bottle, and then they have their 100 proof that's got like a darker label on it. So this one's very distinctive looking in terms of if you see it on the shelf, you're gonna maybe want to buy it. We'll see once we get to the end of this episode.
Yeah, so this bottle, it does look just like the other Coy Hill bottles. One thing I did notice, the back label is actually on the side.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know. So it's funny. Morrow and his local pick group, they went down and did a Jack Daniel's Coy Hill pick.
Okay.
And the person leading their, so for our pick, Nacho was leading our pick.
Yeah.
For leading their pick was this lady that was, I think, in charge of like, what's it called?
The charcoal mellowing.
No,
you have to sit
quality,
here and
quality
watch.
control.
Oh, quality control.
So like all this stuff on there. So I thought it was just, I thought like, yeah, they kind of screwed up, put it on the side.
Right.
Well, Guff came over the other night and he had a bottle of that. It was on the side also.
That's the way they.
So there's at least 2 different ones I've seen now where the quote unquote back sticker is really on the side.
Uh-oh.
So I wonder
Like
how
the
all of
collectors.
them really are.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You're not going to do quality control anymore. You're going to have to watch every ounce go through the charcoal. That slow drip. That's what your job is. Stand there and watch it drip, drip, drip.
But the bottle's the same as like their single barrel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very similar. Yep. Yeah. Are we going on a tasting? Because I'm ready to. You want to taste?
Throw her back.
There you go. Okay. So as I taste this, I am actually 1,000% taking myself into a time warp to 2021. When, Steven, I love that, what you're doing over there. It looks like tantric dancing. When I met Kenny, we met in a parking lot exchanging a whiskey. And then shortly after, I think we sipped one time. And then one night, I actually went to Banners to pick up food. And Kenny was in there, and he handed me a glass and said, "Sip this." And I took a sip of it. And he said, "What do you taste?" I said, "Cherry cinnamon." And he just went, "Yes," like that, and walked away. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know what I did there, but I hope I settled a debate. And I think it was you having a debate with Caleb, right?
Well,
And others. People were tasting
but when you have a
peanut.
debate, I wouldn't call it debate because he has no merit. So I can't really call it a debate.
Oh my God.
But yeah, this boy says peanut butter. But yeah, this is cherry. It's not peanut butter.
Right. So, and that I helped him sell that debate. But Kenny, there's a twist. When I taste this tonight, I'm getting a little bit of not peanut butter, but I'm getting a little bit of nut quality to this. Are you getting any nut quality?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was like, wait a minute. This is not the Coy Hill that I know.
So think about traditional JD.
Right.
Banana, little earthy, little peanut.
Right.
It's banana, earthy peanut.
Yep.
Right.
Think about Coy Hill that you know, cherry cinnamon.
Cherry cinnamon.
To me, this is a little bit of those mixed together.
Mixed together. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Steve, what are you picking up?
Right off the bat, I got a banana note out of it on the palate. But now that you said the peanut, it's all up in there.
Oh, yeah, but you're right.
I do
At
get
the
a little
very
banana-y
front.
as
Banana
well.
in the front. Very much in the
It
front.
caught me off guard. I mean, not off guard, but right off the bat, that's the first thing I heard.
So I'm gonna spend some time with this in the next few minutes.
Right. Yep.
But just initial drink, this is nowhere near secondaries, nowhere near Coy Hill.
Right.
From just first sip. So I'm gonna take 3 or 4 more sips. I'm gonna spend some time with it. But
I feel like this is a very dry drink.
That's the oakiness, I
Yeah.
think. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, JD, you
Right
got to
on my
remember.
tongue. Right on my tongue.
JD, they're bottling what? Similar to other big distillers, 6 years, I think, tops, right? For their standard products, 5 to 7 year range. Even the single barrels and stuff like that, I think 8 to 10. The bourbon we picked was 7, Kenny? Was it 7 years old?
maybe
I think
I think it's better than this from just going off memory. Though.
I think the bourbon was 7 some change, and maybe the rye was 8. I think the rye was an 8 and change. So if you think about it, now we're going to 10-year, 11-month, almost 11 years. I think what you're tasting, that drying thing, is the oak.
Yeah, must be.
So they select from the top area of the rick house too.
On the biggest hill.
On the biggest hill. those people in Tennessee. Yes. And so that's probably what you're picking up, is that those barrel characteristics that are tannins drying out. Yeah, absolutely.
I need a clean glass from you two gentlemen.
Uh-oh, clean glass time. Here we go. Kenny's always got
There
some
you go.
blinds for us.
Thank you, Kenny.
So you're gonna drink this along with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a little blind. I want you to taste as well.
Comparing the blinds, the Coy Hill medicinal note is really coming out.
You're talking about the one that you got from, what, the blind or the other one?
No, for the Coy Hill.
So you think the what do you think of the blind?
Well, I'm just saying, sniffing the blind.
Right.
When I sniff the Coy Hill has
Oh, just
a lot,
on nose.
Oh,
the
more
nose only has a
medicinal.
lot of
Okay.
medicinal on it.
I got you.
Gotcha.
I nosed and tasted the blind, and the blind to me is like, whew, blow your head off. Higher proof, way more robust than the other one. So, Kenny, I believe and I hope, because it would just mean the world to me if you shared some old school Coy Hill with us. But like, I'm wondering if you pulled out one of the old releases or if this is something completely different, because to me it tastes completely different. It doesn't share the same quality as the one on the Coy Hill, but we'll see. I'm going to taste them back and forth here. No, I take it back. I'm tasting some overlap, but the one on the left, the blind you gave, is like leaps and bounds above. Like, I could do a pirouette of how amazing and complex the left glass is.
Oh, the blind glass.
Yeah, the blind glass.
Okay.
Oh, man. Well, the one thing I'll say, though, is the blind definitely has that drying nature that Steven was talking about. Steven, the blind has even more on it. So
I'm guessing the blind's proofier than what the Coy Hill is, right?
it seems like it to me.
Because on the back
I mean,
end, it seems a little
Yeah.
stronger.
a little stronger, but in my opinion, I like the flavors better on the blind than
Yeah, I
on
do
the
too.
Coy Hill. Like, and again, I'm not trying to persuade anybody.
All right. So when I drank the blind
Yep,
and I let it finish, it's got a good long finish.
does.
When I go back to the Coy Hill, it tastes way more banana and peanut than it did when we just drink it on its own by itself.
Correct.
So
Oof. Big oof.
big oof.
Yeah, big time. So what else? Are you ready to render a verdict, Steven? Do you want to know it? How are we going to do this? We always say that. We don't know. We're not going to reveal the blind. We're going to do pass, try, buy first.
We'll reveal.
Do you want to reveal it right now?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So the blind is original old school Coy Hill,
Oh, I knew it.
141.6 proof.
Yeah, definitely higher.
And that is what made Coy Hill Coy Hill.
Right. Oh, my God.
So what I said earlier was true to me.
Right.
is the new Coy Hill this year is kind of like mixing traditional banana, peanut, Jack Daniel's, single barrel proof picks
Right.
with a little bit of cherry and cinnamon Coy Hill. It's like a blend of the two. But once I drank but it wasn't dominant banana and peanut.
Right.
But once I drank Coy Hill on its own, then went back once I drank original old school Coy Hill,
Right.
then went back to the new one, that banana and peanut stood out even more.
Yeah.
So it's very eye opening, and it is huge for me now.
Yeah. Had you ever done it before, Kenny?
No.
Oh, so I wondered about that because I didn't know what you poured us, but like you're right, it amped it up, and it's something we all tasted right from the beginning. So it's not like it was a fugazi, right? I would say a fugazi.
But this is huge because the new Coy Hills are out there; they're floating around. Everyone's been in them at 400, and I saw one at 375, but it was a lower proof. But 400 to 450,
right,
minimum is where they are. And I would be absolutely disgusted if I bought several of those at that price.
Way to blow the punchline.
Now, granted, for 2.5, 3 years straight, about 2 years straight, you could buy the old school Coy Hill for $400 to $500, $450.
Right.
But once the 375s dropped and they took off, now you're going to be $750 to $850 for the old school Coy Hill.
Right, no doubt. So I think that's time, sir. Will you please do the honors?
So, Kenny, would you pass, try, or buy on the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill 2024 release?
You may go first.
Okay.
That would, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I am a buy at retail.
Okay.
I am a complete pass at secondary.
Okay.
I am a complete pass at half a secondary right now.
Ooh, okay.
I truly think, and I wish I would have ran by Liquor Box in Georgetown.
Right.
And try to like slide out and but just get them to pour me like ounce sample of our pick that's coming out. So I would love to try our pick.
Oh, that would be a blind.
Compared to this.
Yeah.
Because in my heart of hearts, I think our pick is definitely as good or better. So our pick, I'm assuming, will be $89, $99 maybe up there.
Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming maybe.
Yeah.
But definitely a buy at retail. But I don't know, I just don't know who guys going to get these at retail. But definitely better to me than most traditional Jack Daniel's single barrel picks.
Okay.
But this is nowhere, in my opinion, near what the Coy Hills of 2021 and 2022 are, like not even in the same realm. Now, granted, these are single barrels. So this particular one is a 125.1 proof. So maybe the 130 proof or even the 123 or whatever
Completely different.
Could be better. Yeah. But I'm trying to think the most I would pay for this. I might go to 150 on this at the most.
Right.
Buy at retail for sure, pass at secondary, and maybe 150-ish at the most.
All right.
125, 150.
Steven, would you like me to go next, or would you like to go, sir?
I'm going to go.
Okay, here we go.
After I say what I'm going to say,
okay,
I want you to go third.
Oh, okay. I'm cataloging all this information, and I'm ready to come through like the hammer.
I'm going to be pass.
Pass?
Straight up pass.
Straight up pass. Okay. All right.
The medicinal taste I don't like.
Okay.
The cinnamon is, and it's a little
bit drying.
Yeah, the drying. And then the back end is just hot.
Yeah.
So the price is not bad. I mean, I could be a try on it, but
yeah, the retail's not bad.
Yeah, the retail's not, definitely no more than that.
But it does drink. So, which granted, don't get me wrong, 125 is not low proof.
No, I know.
But this still drinks hotter though than 125 doesn't.
It does.
Yeah.
And so, kind of those three aspects of it, from the nosing to the taste to the afterwards.
Yeah,
just kind of put me off a little bit.
So you're a pass, maybe a try at retail. Pass is what you're officially.
I'm officially
a
pass. I could be a try.
Yeah.
Especially if someone's going to pour it for me.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow, you guys! So Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out, right?
You're starring in it.
I hope to be starring in it.
Speaking of, I saw a picture of you at the golf club.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hang on. Speaking of.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Stephen, look across the table.
What's up?
You see Anthony's face? Looks a little different than the trip to Cleveland, didn't it?
Oh yeah, you
Get
guys
shaved.
We all gave him a hard time about that chin strap
yeah,
stuff, so
I
he
see
shaved
it.
it.
So yeah, I had a chin strap in Cleveland, and what did Jordan say? You got rid of your Fred Durst beard. You got
forgot,
the Fred
man.
Durst beard, man.
Jordan was on you, dog.
Jordan was on me. Yeah,
I like Jeff though, boy. Jeff was funny.
Jeff was having a good time.
Jeff was
Yes.
on you, man.
So oh my God, you guys. So yeah, so I did shave, but my beard is already back. It's been 2 days.
That is
and
true.
I'm already pretty much full out, and I'm gonna have a beard by next week. So that's the way it goes when you're Greek. But yeah, so it's really crazy. So I mentioned Happy Gilmore 2 only because a lot of people were saying there's no way Happy Gilmore 2 could be good. And this is actually Happy Gilmore 3, right? This is the third release.
Yes.
This is the third release of Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. And I do not know what they did. Kenny, when you poured that blind, it took me back to the times that I tried the original stuff, which I only had the opportunity to do because of you and because of other people affiliated with the best of, right? And it's not even close. And so, Stephen, what you described when you were talking, like the medicinal, hot, this and that, that's what regular Jack Daniel's single barrel proof is to me. When I've tried it before, like go back, there's a place in my Instagram somewhere on my personal account where I said, try an elevated Jack and Coke, where I tried to pour Jack Daniel's barrel proof into Coke, like maybe, I don't know, 2017, 18, because I didn't know how else to drink it. It was too hot for me to drink.
Yeah.
It was not good. And so this is not that bad, but like at retail, I'm going to try because if I'm at Jack Daniel's at the distillery when this releases, I'm going to probably buy it. Because let's face it, I'm a whiskey nerd, right? But man, secondary is like a massively, massively big pass. Like I would not be buying this in any way, shape, or form for that price. I'm kind of with Kenny on that. Double at most, right? What is it? $80?
$80 or 160.
So 160, 150. That's tops if you really want to have Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, but this isn't Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. What made them famous?
Right.
This
A couple
is
years
not.
ago.
It's not it. Yeah. In fact, if you look at my glasses, I've already finished a blind, and I still have my original pour over here of the regular. So that speaks for itself.
And obviously, once we get our Jack Daniel's picks from Liquor Box, we'll do an episode on those. Mm-hmm. And I'll save some of this back to try against that, man. But just going off memory alone, I think our pick's better.
I think so too.
It's a good memory up there.
I really do, man.
Hey, if it ends up not being, then we'll eat our words. But I'm 90% sure.
We can edit.
If it's not, we'll just edit it out.
No, I'm just teasing. No, we don't do that, man. We stand by what we do.
Yeah, that's surprising though. This is massively surprising, and I'm not really. I'd really like to try the higher proof to see if it changes anything because it just,
Man, I just it's like if you mix 2 parts or 3 parts traditional JD barrel pick
right
with 1 part Coy Hill.
Yeah,
because it's still the peanut, the banana, a little hotter to be hot, a little higher proof, and then it's got a touch of the cinnamon and touch of the cherry, but it's not like original old school Coy Hill. I'll say old school. Nothing to Coy Hill's new, but I mean old school, but it isn't like the original.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode.
Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.